quit my job like exactly a year ago, okay? And basically at that point I was making, probably already 3 or 4 times what I was making a month at my job online, okay? So I was already kind of messing with the idea of quitting, right? And at the same time, it kind of just set up, I think God set it up this way for me to where basically he pushed me into finally going over the edge, right? Because I had already been considering it, but I was like, I don't know, man, because this is online stuff. How long is it gonna last? Is it gonna keep going? Is it gonna grow? And so, I wasn't really sure, so I still was kind of in that, stable mindset of just that stable income that will always be there, right? And then, they kept making me work more and more hours. They were telling me to work Saturdays and Sundays now. So I was getting online, working from home on Saturdays and Sundays now. So basically working 7 days a week, doing something I absolutely hated. Basically, it was like speech analytics where you go in and listen to the call center calls, and then we have like this software that transcribes it into text. And I basically was just combing through those all day long, and it was extremely tedious, extremely boring. And I was only making 45,000 a year. So, I'm working 8, 9, 10-hour days, pretty much every single day of the week now, to the point where I couldn't even go play golf with a friend on a Saturday morning because I had to go do a report for some bank. And so it was terrible. I was starting to get really, really frustrated with it. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse to the point where one day, they once again said, hey, you're going to have to work the weekend again. And this was on a call with my boss, and I go, what if I have plans? If I don't want to work this weekend? I already worked like 5 weekends in a row. She's like, well, it's mandatory. So if you don't, it's going to be held against you. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And so um, basically, I sat there and I thought about it all day long, and then I decided basically that night. And so I just drove into work at 11 p.m. I typed out a big long email explaining exactly what I was doing. I said, I'm not coming back tomorrow. I'm quitting right now. And I wrote it all in an email and I sent it to my two bosses and I cleaned out my desk and I freaking walked out, guys. And it felt so good because I've been there like 3 years. I was an intern the first year and then I basically spent like a year and a half full time, right? And the day that I'll never forget the moment when I walked out the door and drove home, okay, knowing I don't have to go back tomorrow or ever. Like, and it blew my mind. It was just like the best feeling ever. And I thought as I was driving away, I was going to get really nervous, but I actually got really calm, which is weird. And I think that was God, because I think this was all because of God. Because that day I literally had prayed for a sign. Like that whole week, I'd been praying for a sign. Give me a sign that I should quit my job, right? And then it just like that one phone call was like the set off for me where I'm like, okay, this is it. And so, I think that sign came from God because He knew that the better things are going to come for me, by quitting this job, right? And so I think because all week I'd been praying, please just give me a sign that I should quit this job. And then that phone call was the setup for me. As soon as I got that phone call, I knew I was going to quit that day. I just knew it. And then, so as I was driving away, I just had this calming peace, and I know that was from God, tell me that it's gonna be okay. Like I drove home like the happiest I've ever been in my life. Like I can't even describe to you how good it felt. And I wasn't making a ridiculous amount of money yet. Um, but I just knew it was gonna be okay. And here's what it did, but I will never forget that moment driving home, knowing I'm not going back tomorrow. I'm not going back ever. No one's gonna make me get up in the morning again. No one's gonna make me go into a job again. No one's gonna tell me I'm doing something that I don't want to do. No one's gonna tell me that I can't take time off and go on a vacation. Okay, because I got 2 weeks a year. Okay, and that's not very much. When you're working, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, 2 weeks is like one really good vacation, right? So you basically get one really good vacation a year, and then you have to wait a whole nother year to go again. And it's terrible, guys. And, so not only so quitting my job, what it did was it made me work harder. As soon as I quit my job, I made way more money. And that's because I had more time, first of all. to work on ideas that I had. So I'd had ideas, and I didn't want to get home from work and work on them. Okay, so by quitting my job, I had time to work on these ideas that I had for a long time, but hadn't been able to have time to put into motion. But it also made me work harder because it was kind of a back to the wall situation. It was, okay, if this doesn't go well, then I just made a really bad decision. So just knowing that I made a decision that is going to affect probably my life, right? It made me work harder because it's like, okay, it's now or never. And sometimes, when your back's against the wall, that's the time where you really succeed. So by quitting my job, I pretty much put myself in a position where I had to succeed. And so it made me work that much harder. And so then, I mean, it just skyrocketed. This past year has skyrocketed. And some of that's from, I had to, prove to myself it was a good decision. I had to, make sure that I was okay, and then also to prove to other people, my family members, girlfriend, people like that, who said you shouldn't have quit your job. I mean, that's all I heard, like, because it was right at Christmas, and then I went to family Christmas, and they're telling me how stupid I was for quitting my job. I'm like, okay, we'll see how stupid I am. Okay, and so it just made me work that much harder to prove to them, no, you're wrong. You guys are dumb for going to work every day, and I'm smart for quitting my job and making 10 times, 20 times as much as you guys are making. And no one's telling me what to do. Okay, and so it made me work harder. Okay, and it's been the best year of my life. Okay, because I've been free all year long. If I want to book, I could book a flight right freaking now and go. Yeah, I'm not gonna because it's almost Christmas. I have to go see my family and stuff. But right after that, I'm going on a trip. In January. I don't know where yet, but I've just decided I'm going on another trip. Okay, because I got the money, I got the time, and I want to enjoy it. So I've already been a lot of places this year. I need to get a passport still, but I mean I've been to Boston, New Orleans, North Carolina, Florida. So I've been all over the place this year, and that's because like I would have never been able to do that, right? Because I wouldn't have had the money to do it, and I wouldn't have had, the vacation time to do it. So I have been completely free all year long, and I have continued to at the same time make more and more money every single month this year, which feels amazing, okay? And it really puts into perspective because like everyone else feel when you make $3,000 or $4,000 a month and your rent's 1,000, and you spend 500 on food and a car payment and a phone bill, you don't have any money left. And so now it blows my mind that first of all I ever lived off that salary, and then second of all how other people live off that salary. Or what blows my mind even more is the fact that if you make 100,000 a year, people think you're doing really well. And like after living this life for a year, that's not true. They're barely making it too, because guess what? They probably bought a $600,000 house, right? And so they're just paying the same amount as you guys. They're making the same amount as you guys after they put it all into a big house and a nice car. Okay? It's not that much money, and that's what blows my mind, that people still go to work because there are 1,000 ways to make money online. If you took my businesses right now, you took all three of the channels I make money on, you took them away right now. If you took my courses away right now, and then you took my Shopify stores away right now, and I was making $0, I could find a new way to make the same amount of money within probably 2 months. Okay, because there are too many opportunities out there. If you're not making 10,000 a month online, like you're doing something wrong. And you need to focus on what that is and figure it out, because going to work for 8 to 10 hours a day for 5 days a week, being told what to do all day long, and probably you hate what you do, okay? And you're probably sitting there wondering why you're wasting your life at this cubicle or in this office when you could be at home enjoying it, or on the road, or whatever you feel like doing, okay? It's almost slavery, okay? Because when you think about how much companies make in proportion to what they give the people working for them, who are really the ones making them the money, it's ridiculous. It's astronomical. Okay, so we're all working. They're giving us food, so that they can live in mansions, basically. And I want to be the one to live in the mansion. I don't want to be giving anybody else mansions. Okay, if anyone's getting them, it's gonna be me. And so I'm gonna enjoy my life along the way. Okay, and every single one of you guys can do that. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's YouTube, Shopify, building a course. I don't care if it doesn't have to be any of the ways that I do. But there are hundreds of thousands of ways that you can make money online, okay? With online, we have opened up an opportunity where you can build a business without spending any money, okay? And that's like a new thing. And the people who grasp that early are going to be set up for success for a long, long time. Okay, but this is just the stuff I've thought about over the past year about how much better my life has been. The fact that I've been going to the gym recently, like a lot, because I have time to. I'm not tired after work all day, or get up at 6 a.m. to go before work or whatever. So, I'm healthier. I'm eating healthier because I don't want to just go get McDonald's for lunch because I'm depressed at work all day and it's the only thing that makes me feel good. Now I'll just eat a freaking salad and I don't care because whatever. So, I'm eating healthier. I'm spending more time on my own personal health because I have time to now finally. Going to the gym, working out, playing basketball, pickup games and stuff at the college, things like that, because I have time to. I have unlimited time, so I can do whatever I want. So I'm healthier. I'm feeling happier. I'm, obviously a lot more comfortable money wise than I've ever been in my life, and it just blows my mind that people are working for $3,000 or $4,000 a month and thinking they're doing pretty well, which I was too. And then, all of a sudden I'm making this kind of money, and and I still don't feel rich, and so I can only imagine how people making $3,000 or $4,000 feel. But there's a way out for every single one of you. So it's really just opened my mind to, how much money actually is a lot of money, and how much this stuff, it will change your life, I'm telling you. I'm reading all these articles about students who, are, 50 whatever $1,000 in debt from school and how they'll probably never get out of it, or it's going to take them 15 years. I owed $60,000 in debt because I went to college, then I got a master's degree, and I owed $60,000 in debt, and I thought it was going to take me 15, 20 years to pay that debt off. And now it's gone. Okay, this year I made enough to get rid of it, so I clean slated that in less than a year, and on top of everything else I've been able to do. So there's so many more things out there now, guys, that I hope you guys take advantage and try something. So this is just a year reflection of where I'm at, and I'll probably do it again next year. But just kind of a year reflection on how my year has gone, and so I'm blessed. I want to thank you guys all for the support, for watching the videos, buying the courses, for everything you guys do. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys have a great Christmas. I'm going to make more videos before Christmas, but this is just kind of a year reflection since it's been almost exactly a year. A little bit over a couple days, I think, since I quit my job. But, man, I'll never forget that day. Best day of my life, and it just keeps getting better. So that's it for this one. I'm out. Thanks a lot.